What's up? I'm Third Time's the Charm. So in this video, I'm going to tell you guys my top 5 reasons why I've come to really enjoy and really love the Nintendo Switch. Number 1 is the hardware. Compared to the Wii U, the hardware is a lot more, I guess, friendly. When you go to use it, the interface is more friendly, user-friendly. Some people have had issues with the Joy-Cons. I think primarily the gray ones, or at least at launch they did, where they were kind of not very sturdy. One of the Joy-Cons is kind of loose, but it didn't really bother me. I noticed it only when I try to look for things like that. I haven't had any issues in the last month. I don't know if that's because I got a Switch, much later down the road, which may or may not have been the case. Sometimes buying a console at launch is not the best thing to do. It reminds me of like an Android or an iPhone. They've really kind of updated it compared to when the Wii U launched. Now they did update the Wii U later on. So as you can see, the interface is pretty easy to navigate. You've got your games up here, and then you've got your news, your eShop. eShop actually has a lot of digital games. Some of them look pretty cool. I have seen 1 or 2 that are just don't seem like they're good at all. A lot of cheap games too if you can't afford a lot of the big titles right now. And then you've got your profile up here, Jordan's page. So there's my me. Look at that, guys.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Tells you how many hours you've played on games. Let's see, Zelda, I've put 95 hours or more, probably close to really 100. My number 2 reason, I really enjoy the joysticks. I'm used to the Xbox One controller. They're a little bit different as far as how they're compressed. These are more compressed. The Xbox One analog sticks, they're more compressed in, whereas the Nintendo Switch ones are more compressed out or decompressed. I had to get used to the A and the B being reversed and the X and the Y. It doesn't feel so plasticky like the Wii U did. It just doesn't feel cheap. It feels as close to $300 as I think you can get. Moving on to number 3, being able to be mobile as well as being a home console. I thought I wouldn't get used to this giant kind of pad-like thing in your hand. I thought I would have to have these off and use them as a controller all the time, but I don't. Even at home, I've come to find myself using this a lot. I did get a screen protector. The screen has had scratches on people's Switch when they dock it and undock it, and so like the second day I had it, I got a screen protector. I'm glad I did because there are already kind of scratches and marks on this one. The screen is really easily scratchable. I wish they had made the dock sort of a little bit further out instead of so close. That gap is it's really small, and so you really have to kind of be like, it's like a game in itself. Like even taking the Joy-Cons out and putting it on its stand and playing like this was probably one of the most awkward things because I'm used to having a controller that's connected, but I actually enjoy doing this a lot because if I have it on a desk or something like that, I can literally just sit like this with my arms down on my lap and just play. Alright, moving on to number 4. Like I said and mentioned, there's a lot of games on the eShop. Some great titles right off the bat when it launched, such as Zelda, Breath of the Wild. You've got Doom that's out. L.A. Noire is awesome if you didn't get to play that back in 2011 when it released. That's kind of like a cop game set in the 50s. It's got a lot of exploration and, just delving in, solving crimes, questioning people. So it actually gets really in-depth, and there's tons of replayability with that. Tons of hours. I think the campaign has something like 30, 40 hours, something ridiculous. NBA, another good game if you want to play some sports. So when you get into the eShop, you do have to log in, I think, usually, or there's a setting for that. There's different games here. These are the recent releases. I mean, as you can see, there's a ton of them. And then you've got games on sale. And this kind of also falls into the, interface. It's easy to navigate. It's all right there. You got bestsellers. These are the games on sale. So there's some good titles. Let's see if there's anything that looks interesting. Like L.A. Noire is normally $50. That's what I paid. They got it for $37.49 digitally. That's not too bad at all. Best sellers, and these you can actually tell what some of the more popular games are. Whoa, do they have the regular Mario in here? That's pretty cool. Rocket League, I forgot they had this one. That's a very popular game. Normally $20 for $15, so you get $5 off. Mario Kart 8, obviously. Stardew Valley, I've heard is a very popular game. It's kind of like a farming type game. I'm not really a farming type game. Minecraft, I mean, Shovel Knight. That Human Fall Flat looks pretty sweet. Splatoon 2 I want to grab. A lot of good games. I mean, there's a lot of variety. And personally, I wanted to get a Switch over like a PlayStation as well. It's because to me the games overall stand out. Though they are getting third party more, which is great. The games that are really more Nintendo's style is something I wanted to experience for some of the first time. Whereas a lot of the games on PS4, nonetheless, they're really good games. I felt it's just another home console. I can't take it with me necessarily. That was in my decision making. Last but not least, this is an aspect I haven't really used, but I can see why a lot of people would use it, especially with the Mario games, or the 1-2 Switch game, or the, I think it's called ARMS, where it's like fighting. It's a good social console. You can use it to play, have a party, have a little Mario party, so to say. It's easy to use with friends, and like I said, it comes with the 2 Joy-Cons, which you can convert into 2 controllers right off the bat. I also got the case. This case that you can hold things with. I got my games. This is for the Switch. And it fits right in here. Come on now. Don't be that. And then you've got the little controller thing. Not a lot of people like this, but I don't mind it actually for being free. And then you can put your power supply here. And I bought these Zelda cards on eBay where somebody customized these cards. And you can scan them into Zelda as amiibo cards, which I think are great. And I've got 6 amiibos, but instead of spending $15 per amiibo, I spent about $50 to get 25 cards. Save some money. This is just a little bit smaller, probably almost close to the same size as an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X. So very but that's been it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Hope it wasn't too boring. Hopefully it's something new that you've heard, or at least my opinion. And maybe you're looking to get a Switch now that it's been almost a year. Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed it. Hopefully this helps you decide whether you're going to make the Switch or not.
Stop it. Get some help.
Thanks, guys, for watching. I'm Third Time's a Charm. That's Kitty Cat. We'll see you next time.